Hey everybody, so we are back with another What Sold video. I just wanted to say that this first week of May was a little bit slow, but as you can see, we started off on eBay with this interesting sale of a coffee mug by Tazo. $49.99. Full asking price is what it sold for. No offers sent or extended or accepted or anything like that. So that was nice. The pattern, they call it Rococo. We've sold this mug a few times. They're like 2012. There was a time when Tazo and Starbucks were in collaboration together. This one was only marked Tazo, so I didn't put Starbucks in the title. And anyway, if you see that funky handle with a Tazo mug, keep an eye out for that because we've sold that mug for good money fairly often. This probably did take a couple months to sell, and I did expect maybe an offer to come through, but I knew that it should sell right in that $40–50 mark. So there are some good coffee mugs out there. You just gotta keep researching them. And then we go from that wonderful sale to this wonderful sale. We sold this for $10. I was gonna just kind of stick to highlights in this video. But it's so funny because Mr. Pish Posh listed this, and I don't even remember where, I don't know where we picked it up along the way, but it's personalized, like with initials and everything. It's hand tooled. And I think at first we had it listed as like a billfold, but it's actually a, what do you call it? It's actually like a checkbook cover. I mean, I guess you could use it for whatever you want, but anyway, I would see it in our listings and I'd be like, why in the world do we even have that listed? Like, what's the point? And I'm not saying I am like, oh yay, we did so good because it only sold for $10. But what I wanted to mention about it is something that I learned from doing the belt research. I had recently found some Western belts and I had passed them up. They were hand tooled, and I had passed those particular ones up because they were personalized, like with a name or with initials. And then as I was researching the ones I did pick up later, I did find that those belts were still selling okay, even with personalization. Maybe not super high dollar amounts, but we're still moving. So I decided to leave this listing in here. It's a handmade item. It's not like I'm saying you're going to come across as a checkbook cover, but take a look at those hand tooled vintage items. It was a big craft thing like in the 70s. And so there's some stuff out there, purses and things like that do sell pretty well. Then we had this pair of jeans by Wrangler that sold. I kind of thought these would go faster or, would go sooner than they did. And they only ended up selling for $20. We had them listed for a long time. They're vintage Wranglers. They're button fly. And then if you look at the back, they have the no pockets. So they've got the Western, kind of the Western look going on. And they call that bareback when there's no pockets in the back. So, anyway, took a little while to sell, and when we got a $20 offer, we just went ahead and took that. Oh, I should say there is another brand, Rockies, that sells really well when you can find the ones in that style with the bareback like that. Anyway, those are still pretty sought after and sell for pretty good prices. Then we've got this lot of fishing lures. Again, Mr. Pish Posh, this was either the original lot of fishing stuff that he picked up a while back and just finally got listed that I've talked about in the last couple what sold, or this was on our recent thrifting trip. I know he picked up some more fishing regalia then too. So I didn't ask him which particular lot this came from, but this sold for $39.99. Again, that was the full asking price. Born Fisherman sandals. So these are kind of just a bread and butter thing that we like to pick up. We call these the Fisherman. They can also be like a closed toe version that does pretty well. These only sold for $20.75. We had them listed, I think they were men's. We had them listed under men's. They were US 9, which is kind of a small size for men's. You know, women could wear it too. But I think they had been listed for a little while. And again, in a slower week, we tend to just want to take whatever offers, something that we're not holding out for those few extra dollars just for a pair of these sandals, that are not going to sell for a super high price anyway. So we went ahead and took that offer. But we generally sell these at around the $30 mark. And I think actually we sold another pair the week after for about $30. And it might be that the closed toe version actually does a little bit better. La Sportiva, it's an outdoor brand. It can be, I kind of associate it with climbing, but I'm sure it's any kind of hiking type clothing as well. It can be considered. We took a $35 offer on these as well. We kind of debated. We had them listed for $60. They were in really good shape. But again, on a slow week, we tend to take whatever offers are coming our way. Here's another pair of Born shoes. These were women's. They were just kind of a chunky style. Born shoes, I don't know that, I used Y2K and stuff like that, but I don't know that a lot of their styles have changed much over the years. And so I think these just came from our little outlet center. And so we listed those for $29.99 and again took a $20 offer. Sold a belt. So this is a Ralph Lauren. I just went ahead and listed it as women's, even though there is some men's clothing under the Ralph Lauren like sub-brand. And if you look, it was right on the buckle, just right there. The little logo is how I spotted it. It was reversible, so there wasn't information printed on the inside of the belt. You could flip the belt around. There's something to look for here when you see this style, that it can pivot, and you can have, one side was embossed and one side was smooth. And it was like a navy blue, and we sold that for $20. This was a sealed sketch pad. It was called La Maxi, and I got this at our little honey hole, the ongoing estate sale. And I just want to say, it is with sadness I announce that our little honey hole, I feel, has been compromised. And we had a good run. It was the place, I found so many good things there. Pottery and glassy babies and things like that. And I've been in there recently, both Mr. Pishposh and I think they've moved on to another estate, at least temporarily. So they're putting in some different types of items, and they're kind of like, I don't know, fancier items, maybe kind of more like well-known kind of looking, like Capote Monte, how do you say that? Like flowers and like antique looking type stuff, and they've priced those like pretty high. So I don't know that there was a whole lot of other stuff from that other estate being put in there. So that might have had something to do with it. Maybe they had to kind of switch gears to this estate, and I don't know, maybe they need, like, they have a sign up that talks about where these items come from, and a lot of times it's for people who don't have anyone, don't have descendants, don't have someone to leave all their stuff to. The state or the county takes care of it. And so this pays like for funeral expenses and things like that. So maybe they needed to get a little more out of this particular estate, and that's why the prices are so high. But the last couple of times I went in there, we haven't picked anything up. But we'll see what happens. Now, this was, like I said, it's a sealed sketch pad. It just looked kind of interesting. Nice paper and everything like that. So I paid $5. It probably only took a month or so or less to sell. And again, it only sold for $20, so it wasn't like it was like a huge money maker, but just kind of something interesting to move on to someone else. Then this sold on May the 3rd. So even though May the 4th was the next day, obviously the buyer was not going to get it by the next day. But maybe he was planning ahead. The word teacher was in his buying ID. And so maybe he was planning ahead for next year's May the 4th. So it's just kind of a thing. Star Wars Day is May the 4th. Be with you. And I had tried to get, I think it was this one. I had tried to get this one. I got this one listed like a month ago. And then I found another one like more recently that I listed as well. But it was maybe like a week before May the 4th when I got it listed. And that one is still listed. But this one sold, and it sold for $18.99. And then J. McLaughlin, this is a brand of dresses that can be good to know. Here's the label, J. McLaughlin. Now, the material that a lot of the dresses are made out of, it's kind of a proprietary thing. They call it Catalina cloth. And it's very kind of slinky, kind of, it doesn't wrinkle. It'd probably be really good travel clothing. And I had, somehow I think I picked up 2 J. McLaughlin dresses one day, and then I had another one in my stash. And so I listed them all on the same day. I knew this one would go first and for the most money. So they're kind of a bread and butter type brand, but fairly well kind of sought after. This one was so colorful and so pretty, and it was a size large, and it sold for $30 probably within like a day or two of me listing it. It was really fast. Then last thing in that week on eBay was this Blanco turquoise freeform glass vase. So this did come from my honey hole, from my little ongoing estate sale. And I think I had posted it on Facebook. I grabbed it. It was $3, and I grabbed it because I was like, this looks like it's something. It looks like Blanco. And I think I checked in a Facebook group. I think it was Old Things Thrifters and Pickers, the one that is run by Crazy Lamp Lady. And I think I posted it there just for confirmation. And there was a Blanco collector. She sent me or gave me the catalog pictures to prove this was a Blanco item. And so I knew you can't, like, it was made for several years. With even turquoise was made for several years, and so all the catalog can tell you is maybe like the first year. You can figure out the first year that it was produced, so it couldn't be any like older than that. So I had it listed for $99.99, and somebody offered us $90, which is a totally awesome offer. So we accepted that, and we've got our positive feedback. They appreciated our good packaging and shipping. Then, let's move over to Posh real quick. This is another something that sold pretty quickly. The brand is called, I don't know how you say it, but it's Stoke. It's just the cushion for a high chair system kind of thing. And the packaging was different than other ones I was finding online, so I don't know if it was just a little bit older. But it seemed to be a kind of expensive baby company, like baby gear kind of thing. So I picked that up for like $4, I think, at the thrift store. I listed it pretty quickly, and it sold for $35. As you can see, probably like within a day of me listing it and then cross-posting it over onto Posh. Then we sold this beanie by Black Diamond. Nothing crazy special, but $18. And yeah, it was May by then, I think, when it sold, end of April, beginning of May, and people were still buying this kind of thing. So we don't, like, generally, we're not going out of our way to list a bunch of the heavy duty winter stuff, but I will list like things that are transitional, and then the items that we already have listed that are like for winter or for, for cooler temperatures, we just keep them listed. You know, we don't give a whole lot of attention to them, but every once in a while something little like this, you know, winter related sells. So we don't like deactivate anything based on the season, because stuff does sell year round, but it's true that like our winter items, people would probably be looking for a deal off season, rightfully so. And so if we have something really good that's winter related, we're going to wait until fall to get that listed. Another Poshmark sale was this aluminum crepe pan, and it came with the little recipe book. We just picked this up at a local thrift store, and it was in pretty good condition, and I just like the fact that it had the booklet, and it's club aluminum, which does have a following. And so we picked that up. I'm not sure what she charged me for that. It's kind of like she's got some flat rates for certain things in that thrift store, and I just kind of make a pile and she gives me an amount at the end. So $5 or less for this. But I just wanted to mention too that Poshmark, you know, it's not just for clothing. So if you're thinking about cross-posting or opening a Poshmark account, I think I do have a link. I should have a link in the description below, if, you know, a referral link for Poshmark for opening something. But then also if you want to add VENDOO, you know, we cross-post these things using VENDOO. And that's how we can cross-post so much. And that's how this ends up selling on Poshmark for $30. Another hat, this is Ambler, I guess maybe was the brand, but it just had a really nice graphic on it of a mountain, and that sold for $20. Then this, we kind of like picking up stuff like this, tends to get overlooked. It just sold for $20, but it's just a fanny pack, like a vintage fanny pack waist bag type thing that, you know, the brand was Jand Mountaineering. So if we find stuff that's like made in the USA or has very like bright 80s, 90s colors, or just even the green, kind of the green hiking colors, I don't know, people who've been hiking a long time, they kind of have their favorite brands and favorite things that they like to use. And so you can generally pick these up at thrift stores or estate sales, yard sales, whatever. It's not too expensive, and there's people looking for that kind of thing. So $20 on that. And then these were 4 Moscow Mule mugs, just like a copper colored aluminum mug by Smirnoff. Now, a few years back, Moscow Mules got really, really popular, and these were selling like really high money. Like this would have been like $40 or $50 for these mugs. So I'm seeing that the prices have come down quite a bit. So you're going to, I think there's always going to be people who want cups for Moscow Mules, but you might have to make sure you're sourcing them pretty cheaply. Then we're just going to finish up with a couple sales on Ruby Lane. This was a nice sale for $75. These actually came from our little honey hole as well, but a little while ago, like a while back. And I think I paid like $8 for them, but I knew they were Yves Saint Laurent and they were on the original card. They're marked as well, so I knew they weren't just clipped onto that card. So what happened was the week before was the sale on Ruby Lane, the spotlight sale, and I had them for 25% off. And I think the buyer missed it or something, so they had asked me if I could sell them like Monday, right after the sale ended, could I honor the sale price? And so since it was $75, I went ahead and said yes. Because they had been listed a little while, but nice chunky kind of 80s style clip earrings by Yves Saint Laurent. And then a little tiny sale was this little nylon bonnet. I think it's originally like a baby's bonnet by JCPenney. It's Penny's Toddle Time. It had such a cute little label inside, but it could be used on a doll. And as we know, there's a lot of doll buyers and collectors on Ruby Lane. So that's why I popped it over there. Okay, so that's it for that first week, pretty much that first week in May. And I will probably, the next video is going to be another what sold, because I'm headed out of town at the end of this week, and so I'll just have another what sold video come out for you while I'm gone. So as always, leave me a comment down below how you guys are doing with your selling, and if you've sold anything awesome, if you've sold anything that you want to share, or even if you found anything, like how's the thrifting been going. So okay, I'll talk to you guys later on, and have a great week.